Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Just got back from an incredible trip to Miami. Met up with Drag Times and reviewed a 765 LT with him. If you haven't seen that video yet, I've got a link in the description below. It was an absolute blast of a car. Also met up with Savage Garage and met a bunch of you amazing fans at Supercar Saturday. Man, I love this car so freaking much. At the end of the 765 LT review, I started thinking, should I sell the 600 LT for a 765? I gotta say though, I think I'd miss the roof scoop. Now there is a roof scoop option on the 765, but it doesn't look nearly as insane, and I think I'd miss that top exit exhaust as well. I gotta take the 600 into the shop today to get it fixed up. More on that in a little bit, but let's go ahead, start the car up, and go for a little drive and talk about the 600 versus the 765. In the 600. Man, I love this car. I gotta say, I've got 11,300 miles on it now, and it has been pretty much a flawless ownership experience. One oil change, had to change the tires once, had that little mix up with the front windshield, but other than that, man, this thing has been a joy to own, and it is so freaking fast. So stock, the 765 runs a 9.3 in the quarter mile. This car runs a 10.4. Now, even after downpipes and a tune, because of this car's launch control, and I don't know why it is, but the 720S and the 765 have a better launch control system that are able to do quarter mile runs way faster than a modified 600 or a 570S. Now this is capable of running high nines in the quarter mile, but getting to low nines and then in the eights for a tuned 765, that's absolutely impossible. Handling wise, I didn't get a great grasp of what it was like to drive because, well, I wasn't able to rip it through canyons like this, but I do feel like right off the bat, the 600 does feel a little bit more nimble and it feels like a smaller car than the 765, despite the fact actually that the 765 weighs the same as this, which is really, really impressive. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Should I trade the car for a 765 or do I keep this beautiful Lantana purple 600 with that roof scoop? I am curious though, from a roll, how this would do versus 765. They have the same amount of wheel horsepower, but I think that shorter gearing, I think the 765 might take the cake. Interestingly, you do feel a big difference in the shifts at full throttle acceleration with the 765 versus the modified 600 LT. The 765, you literally don't feel the shifts. It's bam, 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 bam. In the 600 with the downpipes and a tune, it actually has this whap to it, this jerkiness in between shifts, which I absolutely love, but it possibly slows the car down a tiny bit. Now, it's finally time for new front brake pads. I've had this to the track enough, and I'm actually surprised that the pads lasted 11,300 miles. But when I checked the price on them, holy crap, were they a lot more expensive than I was anticipating. Guys, take a guess at how much just the front pads cost on the 600. Thankfully though, AGX found a hack to save me a bunch of money. We'll talk about that when we get there. But before that, I want to give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Improving your mental health is something near and dear to my heart, and BetterHelp has made it easier than ever. They assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. The amazing part is you can start communicating within 48 hours. It's not a crisis line, it's not self-help, it's professional counseling done securely online. It's available worldwide, and they've got 15,000 counselors with a broad range of expertise that you probably couldn't find locally. You can even log on anytime and send a secure message to your counselor with timely responses. And you can sign up for weekly video or phone conversations from the comfort of your own home. You can even change counselors easily if it's not a great fit. It's cheaper than traditional counseling, and there's financial aid available. It's also super easy to sign up for. You simply fill out a little survey, then you create an account, and boom, you're good to go. BetterHelp wants you to start living a better and happier life today. So guys, visit betterhelp.com/vehiclevirgins or click the link in the description below to join over 1 million people currently improving their mental health with the help of a professional. And because you guys are Vehicle Virgins fans, going to betterhelp.com/vehiclevirgins gets you 10% off. All right, on to AGX. Such a beautiful view. Man, this car's fast. Woo! I gotta say, I do find it kind of crazy that in this McLaren, there's no oil level sensor, and there's also no brake pad wear sensor. Almost every car I've ever owned tells you when the brake pads are low, tells you when the oil is low, but this car, you really gotta pay attention so that you don't end up like what I did with the Huracan back in 2018. For those of you who have been subscribed to the channel for a long time, thank you guys so much. Some of you might remember that I took my Huracan to the track, to Thermal Raceway, and the brake pads were a little bit too low. And unfortunately, one of them spontaneously combusted and crumbled on the track. The backing plates bit the carbon ceramic rotor, and I had to replace my rotor and the pads, and it ended up costing like $10,000. So this car, taking it in early, because I don't ever want to deal with that ever again. That really never gets old, oh my God. Sweet spec on that Cullinan. Check out this thing, guys. It's got jump seats in the back with external speakers. The thing is wild, I have no idea what it is. All right, pulling up to Avant Garde Exotics to get this thing all fixed up. All right, so we are at Avant Garde Exotics with the man, the myth, the legend, Mitch.
What's up?
Who has saved me a heck of a lot of money. So when he told me, just a little bit, when he told me the pads on the front were gonna cost $2,600, I was actually shocked. Like, what were the front pads on my Huracan?
You're already just Apple paying me everything. Just give me 5.
So what did the Huracan pads cost? Like 900 bucks?
Yeah, like 9,000, somewhere around there.
So for the McLaren, which is the same level of car, to cost 2.5 times as much, I thought that was ridiculous. But he figured out the actual supplier of the pads.
Secret Handshake, 571.
Yeah.
So, same exact pad. They don't exactly list it, top secret, but we got something that works for about 1,200 bucks. Far less, way better, and more money for activities. Who can't complain about that?
I love it. Thank you. We're also doing an oil change today, putting in a new oil filter. Hopefully the oil doesn't look as bad as last time I was at AGX, because what'd you say? It was like one of the worst oils you've ever seen?
I say that to anybody, just...
Oh, okay, all right, I feel a little better. But yeah, it was really, really black. McLaren going up in the air. All right, so we're looking on the underside of the McLaren, and we were making jokes that it looked like I didn't actually lose any bolts on the underside. For some reason, they rattled themselves out, and then the car starts making rattling noises. Unfortunately, I'm literally missing 2 bolts.
But you know what though? 2 in the scheme of things is far better than average. So you're ahead of the curve there.
Come on, clean.
Hours of fun in that. Still pretty dirty.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. But we didn't replace the oil filter last time, so now we got a new one.
Yeah, well, when you don't end up having one and you're in a pinch, it's still better than nothing.
Yeah, no, of course.
But even when you have these, on any of these cars, that's why it's so incredibly important to keep up on the oil and change them. Any turbo car, boosted car, cheap maintenance. Please, please do yourself favors and change. Don't do the whole 10,000 mile bogus crap. Like
5,000? 3,000
miles or once a year. Do yourself a favor. That's what you should end up doing. Save yourself an insurmountable amount of grief.
What about spark plugs?
Depends on the driving, what you're doing. Realistically, they end up putting, you know, an Iridium plug in there, which technically is a 60,000 mile plug. But again, if you're not driving it, it still gets caked up. Still, you know, you'll get a little bit of a noticeable change. But realistically, 30,
gotcha.
40 on someone that's, you know, driving their car.
All right.
What you want to do.
Thankfully, I got more time. Taking the wheels off to replace those front brake pads. The moment of truth of how low these things are, they're disturbingly low.
Well, considering you don't really even start with that much to begin with.
Yeah, these are aggressive.
2,600. Ooh, yeah, you're you're pretty close. When people tell you you need a big hammer, it's like they're just compensating.
Your little hammer gang?
I can do it with, you know, my little hammer works just fine. You know,
whatever makes you sleep at night, that's fine. Oh my God.
I'd say they're pretty.
I'd say those are pretty worn. Holy moly. Those are the old pads. Those are the new pads. So how crazy is this, guys? Here is the brake wear sensor, and it hasn't even tripped yet the pads are almost completely disintegrated. What are we doing over here? Bob the Builder with your hammer?
You know, my curiosity peaks when you end up having what I'm presuming to end up being metal pins that actually hold the brake pad to it, that essentially the pad's already worn all the way down. So one would think, okay, you're gonna have an expensive carbon ceramic rotor, and you got some metal pins, you have a brake wear sensor that hasn't even tripped yet, and you already have,
yeah, it should probably go off.
You know, a piece of metal pins. You know, one would think, I don't know, maybe let's not destroy, you know, the rotor, but, you know, what do I know? My suspicions were right. Definitely metal pins. So you have these metal pins, after we did some CSI work here, definitely metal, you know, hasn't ended up killing anything yet, but one would think, okay, still can't be great.
Try to avoid that.
So
Jeez.
Why would you end up having metal pins that are gonna sit there and end up basically grinding the crap out of your rotor?
I can't tell you. In typical AGX fashion, there are Lambos everywhere in the shop. We got an Aventador, Murcielago, another Aventador, another Mercy, another Aventador. But check this out. We got an NSX rear bumper with a Pagani license plate frame. That's kind of cool. And then this Focus RS. Check out these rotors. They've got R1 engraved into them. Apparently you can get these custom to say whatever you want. Imagine vehicle versions around your rotors. Kind of cool. Well guys, there you have it. Brake pads are on, oils has changed. Special thanks to AGX and Mitch for making this possible. Car's in perfect running condition now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. Look forward to seeing you next video.